All right, Cameron, sitting in bed here, and I'm thinking about my goals, and really what I'm thinking about is meeting 1 million people and the way to do that and how to scale that. So, what I'm really thinking about is meeting 100 people every single day, meeting 100 people every single day. And if I do that, when I say meet 100 people, well, first off, let me finish my thought. If I meet 100 people every single day, in 10,000 days, I'll have met 1 million people. And that's my goal. I want to have 1 million people in my care, whether that's in my company, 1 million people that work for me, or customers, or clients, people I've met, people I've helped, people I've done business with, interfaced with, or interacted with. Um, there's going to be a lot of good things that come from connecting and meeting and interfacing with 1 million people. A lot of great benefits. So I'm thinking if I do 100 people a day, if I meet 100 people a day, I'll meet 1 million in 10,000 days. The other caveat to that is that the delegation portion, because I'm thinking, let's say I'm door knocking. I go door knocking and I'm selling insurance. I could do the opening. So I would have to go up there with two people at least. Well, myself and another person. I do the opening. Say, hey, I'm Cameron. Nice to meet you. What's your name? What's your number? What's your address? Do you want to buy life insurance? And then the person I go up there with, if they give us the opening, they'll stay with that client, do the presentation, collect the commission, while I continue to go and open up more doors for new clients. And then after they collect the commission, they'll return to me. And then I say, I have another client right now. Go sign them up for some insurance or give them a presentation. And then they'll decide if they want to sign up. So that's one way I'm thinking about doing it, where it's like I keep on my pathway, my team member drops off from me, touches the client, does the presentation, then returns to me while I keep going. So it's kind of like this looping effect, or like threading a needles effect. The other thing too is I'm thinking go to conferences. Go to a conference every single day. Like you have your goal for multifamily real estate. You could you could go to a neighborhood and knock on doors and be like, "Hey, I am a real estate developer. Do you want to let me invest your money into real estate?" But if you go to a real estate investor conference and you go to 10,000 of those and meet 100 people every time you go to one of those events, you also get to 1 million and you'll get to your goal of owning these multifamily apartment complexes. Now, the main thing though is not just to meet people, but to get their contact information into my database. So I don't want to just meet somebody and just never find out what their name was or anything like, or any sort of like contact information. No, I want to meet them, find out their name, at least their name and their a way to contact them again, their address, their mailing address, their phone number, their email, and have that in my database and build my database to 1 million people, 1 million people that I can contact, and also 1 million people that I've contacted. So the thing about it is, I would, in this process, I would exchange. It's an exchange. It's a swap. So I would have a million business cards that I would give out, and I would also have a million index cards that I would record their contact information on for my database. So I'm giving them a way to contact me as well, and not just only having their contact information. So I want it to be an exchange. Now, I'm thinking that in the process of doing this, I'll continue traveling all over the world. I'll continue meeting clients in different languages that don't even speak. Like right now, I speak English. I'll be clients in German or Hausa, Arabic, French, Igbo, Zulu, Xhosa, Pedi, um, various dialects, Swahili, from these different countries, because my my businesses and my business will naturally take me to where the opportunities are to meet more people in these locations, all while documenting the process along the way and making sure I document it, because I'm anticipating that this would be a 30-year project where I am documenting the project over the course of at least 30 years. I think it'd be really exciting. I mean, really fun to just be like, yo, so from you started from like where I'm at right now, I probably have met, well, and the reason, let me put it like this, why am I doing this, right? Because I initially had read a book, The Billionaire Real Estate Agent, that was talking about how you need to have at least 10,000 contacts in your database and you'll become a millionaire. You know, that I read that book 10 years ago. And I'm 29. I read that book 12 years ago when I was 17, 16. Yeah, 17, 16, 12, 13 years ago. I didn't take it to heart. I didn't, at least that portion of it. I didn't like sit down and write a database. I more so knew I needed to have a database, but I would have my databases in um, email form, on the computer, on my cell phone. And typically, what has happened up till now is either I lose the database because I lost my cell phone, the email account gets deleted from me either not paying the account or from misuse, or I lose the password to the account. And when I say misuse, I mean like just lack of using it. Like I haven't used the account, I forgot the password. I only had a subscription membership. Now all that data has been deleted because I'm not paying the platform for the use of the membership. So, there it is. There it's gone. So now all those people I met, I don't have a record of it. And when it comes to your record is also your record. And you want to win records. You don't want to lose records. Um, because those are your stats, those are your statistics. They're like trophies. Every contact, every interaction is a trophy. It's an honor to have that record. You don't want to lose that. So I just like with any type of innovation, you face a challenge, you created a new technology. Now this one isn't necessarily new by humanity's standards, but it's new to you. So, and that's the point, because you have a goal, and so you needed to use the technology that you need to use. Um, and then also you notice that I think it's either John Rockefeller. He himself had built a database of 100,000 to 200,000 index cards of people he's met, and you know how well he's doing. I think his company, they have like 30 million clients. I don't know if it's John Rockefeller, because it might have been J.P. Morgan, one of J.P. Morgan's, or like with Chase Bank. Um, but their company now has 30 million clients all over the U.S. and the world, and they're doing large numbers of transactions, big business, but also just imagine that he's having a great life. Like he's having a lot of fun, helping a lot of people, making a lot of money, living. He has a lot of life in his years. And that's part of it. You want to get out of life just as much as you put into life. And you want to get right. It's like this. You want to get the juice from the fruit. So you want to make sure that the squeeze is worth it. Now, having these contacts, the squeeze is going to be worth it because you can squeeze that fruit again and again and again. And really forever, because once you meet a person, you've met them. So for the duration of their life, you'll always know about them, and they'll always know about you. So that's another aspect, is that you want long-term success. You don't want fleeting success. Also in this process, you might build a pyramid, right? It took the pharaohs 20 years to build a pyramid, so go ahead and start yours. If it takes you 30 years to meet 1 million people in that same amount of time, you could erect a pyramid of the same, or like, no, of the same construction. So think about this as that, and do the same similar, and simultaneously complete a pyramid, and also um, meet 1 million people. So you can add that to the list of long goals that take a substantial portion of time, or well, I'll just say they take a portion of time. At 60, like yesterday, you met a man. He was 80. His son is 59. He had his son when he was 21. They didn't look like 80 and 59. They both look like 60. So think about that. When you're 60, you could still be living to 20. I mean, excuse me. You could still be living 20 years to 80, or you could be living 30 years to 90. But your goal is 140, so you could be living 60 years to 140 when you're 80. So don't think about the time. Think about how long, the longevity, and also what it'll make of you to become that. But too, at the same time, you might get burned out. Oh man, I've been doing this, meeting 100 people every single day. I'm tired of it. Okay, then be tired of it. Take a break, go on vacation, or like go have a period where you don't meet people. It's not like a hard rule. You have to meet 100 people. No, that's not how you do things. Like, write a book, meet, and also you can include the authors that you've met, the books, and all the books you have. You've met them through their work. So you can include them as people you've met. So, read a book, do art, do recreational events, write a book. Don't meet 100 people every single day. It's not about necessarily meeting 100 people every day. Now, you do want to have the compilation, the accumulation of 1 million people, but you're not a robot. You're not like a machine that has no other ambitions. You need to have a balance too. So, hey, if you want to take a break and not meet people, just do that. But at the same time, the benefits in life come from life itself, and life is made of other people. So think about that as well. Maybe you want to meet 100 people, but you have that core that you still are also interacting with. So there's that aspect of it too. So yeah, I anticipate I already have like 40. I already have 40,000 index cards that I need to fill with people. I'm at 2,000. It's generating business. It's generating clients. Like you just did the property. You just did the will case. I'm not gonna put the not put the address. You did the case of 920 Falcon Drive for Daryl Moore. That was your client. You did that case, and he's in your database. So the database is producing. You want to make sure that database is producing and getting you closer towards all of your bigger goals, but also you want to make sure that your health is tip top and your spirit is tip top. The people in your database will keep your health in tip-top space and keep your spirit in tip-top shape. You want to focus on that because that's going to create the longevity, having a top-notch spirit and having top-notch health. That is what's going to keep you in the game for the long term. So meet those people and get around those people. The other aspect of this is, okay, so you're giving out 100 business cards. You're getting in return 100 contacts. Eventually, you might have somebody, you're the face. You just meet the people. You might have somebody standing next to you who's writing down the name, the number, the contact information. That's one way to go about it too. The point though is you have a record of the interaction. You have their information. They have your information. You don't have to write down yourself their information, but you do need to be in the meeting. You do need to meet them. You can't have somebody else go and meet the people that you have to meet. You have to meet the million people. They have to see your face and you have to talk to them. So there's that aspect of it as well. Yeah, don't forget. And even when you have a bigger organization and you have other people who are out there meeting their own contacts, you still have to go meet your contacts and your people, whether that's in America, whether that's in Spanish, y si hablando español, y conociendo las personas de los países de Sudamérica, tú necesitas conectar con las personas en la cara. Necesitas mirar la cara de otras personas y las otras personas necesitas ver a su cara. So you have to meet. You have to look in their face and they have to look in your face. It's a eye to eye connection. So there's no way around that, especially with the goal like this to meet 1 million people. You have to actually meet them. So I'm thinking like, what else will go into this? Well, the money that it takes to have 1 million index cards, but that's not. You'll meet people. People will give you index cards. You'll make money from your clients and your database. So that's not a concern. What else? The money's not a concern. The journey though is exciting. It's exciting, the journey that this is unfolding. Well, you've already started it. You probably have about almost 2,000 index cards completed. So you just keep going with it and keep going for your major goals through this and document this entire process. What else? Check in. I want to say check in every 1,000 business cards, right? So like, let's say, okay, so 1,000 times 10,000 would be 1 million. So maybe you're not checking every 1,000. Maybe you have to find milestones checking, because right now 2,000, this is like the milestone. But maybe at some point you check in every 5,000 business cards, because then that would be 5,000 times 200 is 1 million. Right, then you'll have like 200 videos to check in. Whereas if you check in at 1,000, then you'll have like 1,000 videos, which is fine too. 1,000 videos is still a good check-in point, because then you'll have like little slices of life where you're like, oh yeah, I remember this section. I got this section. I got this section. I got 1,000 check-in videos of me getting to this goal of 1 million, and you know, that's great too. 1,000 pieces of content is good. More is better when it comes to these type of things. So maybe you keep it at 1,000. You check in every 1,000. There's no wrong way to do this. You just have to get it done. That's the part. Because it would, let's say you meet 100 people every day, it take you 10 days to do 1,000 people. Do you make a video every 10 days? Keep it pushing. And yeah. What else? So you gotta check in, you got a documentation, you might do videos. I mean, you might do videos every 1,000 contacts. You might have other people write down the details. Maybe you definitely want to keep the index card thing going, so you have a paper trail, a real paper trail. Let's say, you get an opportunity. Let's say you get an opportunity, say, for example, you want to buy an apartment complex in South Africa. Now you're in South Africa writing down and meeting contacts. And then the next opportunity, you're in China. Now you're in China and meeting contacts. Now, see, the thing about when you went to China is you did not meet a lot of people talking to each other. Or at least you didn't interact with a lot of people when you went to China. Like when you got on the train, people weren't talking. So you kind of felt like, okay, I'm not meeting a lot of people here. So you'll probably have to switch it up. Maybe instead of meeting them face to face, maybe you do a seminar where now they're in the room, they gave you their contact information to get in the room when you're on stage talking about such and such. The people there who are helping you with the seminar give them your contact information. So you still met them and they still saw your face and you still connected with them, but you had a different approach. Instead of just like handshaking, giving everyone a handshake, you did the one to many approach. Because when I was in China, it was like this. There was definitely a cultural resistance. Like people don't talk on a train. They're less likely to like stop and have a conversation. But obviously, people are meeting each other. I mean, you met people at the museum, right? So you just have to find out the way to get the exchange, whatever that exchange is. If it's one to many, if it's one to one, you just have to know where that volume is of, excuse me, of your contact information with their contact information, and how to navigate that. And same like when you were in Australia, you really didn't, like, the people you met, they wanted you to sit down, have a beer with them and drink and talk. But they didn't give you their contact information. They didn't give you their address or their phone number. They just wanted to chat. So that type of thing, you'll have to figure out a way to navigate that culturally. Um, because yeah, you didn't get their contact information. Um, so there's that aspect of it too. Cross culturally, it'll be difficult. Well, it won't be difficult, but it'll be a change. It'll be a change from the previous culture. And I mean, and that's fine, right? You want to be having 1 million lives in care. This is what comes with it. This is part of what comes with it. So it's just something to, again, create a new technology for navigating. That's really it. Um, yeah, yep. When you find challenges, innovate. The next thing is what else? Um, that was a good example, a good detail to discuss. The next thing is get a safe. Don't let these index cards burn up. Don't let them get caught on fire. Get a fireproof vault to store them in, because I'm gonna say this is your spirit, or this is your life or your soul, but you put a lot of work into this. You want to make sure it doesn't get destroyed through carelessness. And then you don't have to like then recreate this, like, which is why you're in this position now, because the data in your phone deleted the contacts. So now you have to come up with your own technology to sustain, right? And then at the same time, you may complete your goal, right? You might get that. Not saying you might. You will get that 150 unit apartment complex. It's an event. It has a horizon. You will cross that horizon. All of these goals, you will cross those horizons. The idea, though, is to have goals that outlast your lifetime as well. So you're still there. You're still living an impact, and people are still benefiting from now. The thing, though, is after you complete that goal of getting that 150 unit apartment complex, you may have another goal that, let's say you have a goal of like coding computers. Now, coding computers doesn't necessarily put you in front of people. It puts you in front of a computer. So you're going to have to figure out how to do that simultaneously, whether it's you're talking to the programmers and you're in front of them, giving them instructions and then they go and code, or some aspect of you're coding a little bit, like you do like when maybe 1 to 10 programs, and then you go get in front of 100 programmers that day and talk to them about continuing to code and program for you, because like again, that skill set, that profession does not put you in front of people. It puts you in front of computers. So again, you'll have to navigate how to make, how do I put this, how to make gains in that skill set base while also meeting people. Or because maybe, let's say maybe it's like this, maybe you meet 100 people who are going to teach you the programming language every single day. You meet 100 people who are going to teach you, let's say for example, HTML. They're teaching you HTML. You take a little bit of time out of your day, code in HTML. Then you go meet 100 more people who are going to teach you HTML. You code a little bit more. And then the next 100 people you meet, you're telling them what you want produced with your HTML. But at the same time, you're doing some of the coding. You're doing some of the documentation. So that way you know what it is. You know how to do HTML. You know how to read HTML. So there's that aspect too, is that coding does not necessarily put you in front of people. But if you have a company, a computer company, you're going to need to, a software company, you're going to need to read their code, or you're going to have somebody else read their code, or something of this like same manner. Because computer companies have employees as well. They have 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 employees. You have to meet those people and you have to code. So you already know Python and you've done HTML, but you need to understand how to integrate these goals with each other, because some industries are not necessarily highly people face driven. Like for example, doing flooring, right? When you're doing flooring, you're not in people's faces, you're actually laying the tile. But at the same time, once you learn a basic skill of how to lay a basic tile, delegate that to somebody else who can lay the tile. Same thing with the coding. Once you can get to a basic understanding of, and not a basic, but let me say this, once you get to a plateaued understanding of the language, how to read it, what it should look like, how to produce, how to get a production from it. Same thing with the people. The production from the people is investment dollars. But with the coding language, the production from the people is software that's usable. Delegate that to another person or to a team member so that you can continue on meeting your goal, because the goal is in the people, right? This goal is in the people. The languages, the software, the languages, that's just a different code, a way to interface with another person. When it comes to software, that's a way to interface with computers so people can then interface with those computers. Um So you'll need to figure out how to do that as well, how to interface that. Same thing when it comes to law, like what you've done so far at the like with the K 920 Falcon Drive. When it comes to you meeting these lawyers, you'll need to find a way to not only interface with the lawyer, meet them, but then also delegate what it is that they're doing. So in this process, not only will you be needing to meet 100 new people, but people will need to be coming to you and submitting reports, whether that's a legal update, whether that's a computer software coding update, whether that's an investment update, an investment. Hey, I got this 10K for you to read over and look over. Do the numbers look right? You people will be submitting reports to you while you're still in the process of meeting 100 new people. So you need to figure out the time aspect of, okay, you can't spend 12 hours a day meeting people. Maybe you can only spend 2 hours meeting 100 people, and the other 2 hours people are submitting reports, and the rest of the day you're actually not working and you're enjoying, you're living. So you'll have to figure out how to compress time and compress those time scales, so that way you can get this done, and you can have a regular, and not say have a regular life, but you have a regular normal life. Like, you don't want this to be your entire all consuming purpose for living. This is to enrich your life. This is not to consume and devour and mismanage your life. So keep that in mind too when you're going into this and through this, is that this is about enjoying the journey. This is not about trying to rush to the destination. This is just about documenting the process, staying on track, staying focused, and and getting the benefits of being on this track. Not necessarily you gotta, do it. You have to. It's not a have to. This is you get to do this because you got this plan. You get to put this together for yourself, and you get to enjoy this video when you watch this video back. So remember, this is, look, this shirt. I am the dream. You get to live the dream. This is a part of the dream. You get to watch this movie unfold with you as the character. So you're going to have a lot of supporting characters through this. So enjoy it. Enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. Don't make it I have to make this, I get to. This is the benefit. So yeah, I think I kind of covered it. I'm sure between now and the next 1,000 business cards, I'll have to come up with some new idea or some new way of implementation or something. But I guarantee meeting a million people is not gonna make your life worse. Okay, I think if anything, it'll make it better because of all the benefits and opportunities that'll come. So what else is what else is that? What else is there? Uh, what else? I also need to keep a record, meet them, they meet me, let them know what I'm doing at the given point in time, what my goal is if I haven't achieved it. Give them a way to find out more about me or to tap into my platforms. Give them a way to circle back, um, document the process. You're not going to have all the ideas right now. So don't try to put that pressure on yourself. Also, too, go to different languages, different cultures, different parts of the world. All right, so I think that's it. Oh yeah, include people in your library who aren't living or who are living, and you got their book and you read it, and now you want to meet them in person. Include that. Um, yeah, but at the same time, for you to get to your goal, like you were thinking, you're gonna need to get in front of 100,000, a million people. You will have to, because it's just one of those things. For your goals to come into fruition, you just have to it has to have the exposure, it has to have the knowledge, it has to have the awareness. This is not about necessarily being famous, but you need to give people a chance to say no or yes to whatever it is you're advertising. That's what this is about. Is getting your opportunity in front of them so they can decide if they want to be a part of it. If they don't know about it, then you're in obscurity. And if you're in obscurity, the goal will never come to fruition. So don't get discouraged. People, oh, you just want to be famous. You do want to be famous. You want to be in front of the right people who want to align with you. You don't want to just be in front of anybody who disaligns with you or who discourages you. You want to be in front of people who are gonna make the dream a reality. They look. You want to be in front of people who are gonna make the dream. People who are gonna make the dream reality. You don't want to be in front of people who are gonna tell you not to chase your dreams. Keep that in mind. People will. There's always gonna be that group of people who just don't agree with you, who don't like what you're doing. But it couldn't even matter if you were breathing. Oh, they don't like that you're breathing. Oh, they don't like that you're tall, or they don't like that you're you. There are always going to be those people. You have to get in front of them too, but you don't have to stay in front of them. You need to get in front of them, give them an opportunity to tell you no, and then go get in front of the next people. And that's it. You don't have to convince them or anything like that. You just need to get in front of enough people. Well, you do have to convince people. You need to help them make the decision. Half of the battle is getting in front of them so you can help them make the decision. But the people who are going to be permanently against you, you don't need to change them to be for you. You need to get in front of people who haven't decided to be for you and the people who already know that they're for you. That's who you need to get in front of. So, yeah. Onward, upward, and at the same time, you can take breaks. You can take a period, 3 months. I'm not working on that project right now. I'm on this campaign. Like you with the campaign for the index cards. You was doing that with dad. Well, you was doing that through dad. The money from the advertising from the dirt business, you was using that to buy the index cards. Then you got to a plateau. You got 40,000 index cards. You said to yourself, Demetrius, you are going for 1,000,000 index cards for 1,000,000 people, but you don't need to spend all your money on that right now. Go through and fill out the index cards and then use the money from the clients and customers through the index cards and use that to buy more index cards. So you're at a plateau, right? So it's like this is a campaign. This is a campaign. This is like a military campaign. You don't have to take over the whole country in 1 year. No, you have periods where you make gains. You have periods where you build up the reserves. You have periods like this where you document the wins, what went right, what went well, what you're going to keep doing, what you're going to stop doing. You have periods where you're in the thick of it. Like, oh man, I can't meet nobody. Like when you were in China, I couldn't get the contact information from nobody. Where now you have to then retool. You have to like this is how I even came up with this index card thing. And I never came up with it. It was really I was told from the beginning, create a database. I made several databases, but I didn't write them in a way that I could interface with them, that I own the platform, where they wouldn't get deleted. So now I'm in that period of where you're retooling because all of your swords broke, right? You were using them, but the swords broke. So you got to create new swords, or go get more metal and get them forged. Or even the enemy has superior defenses. Now you have to create a new technology from your mind to overcome those defenses. You have to create cannons or chains to throw over the castle walls so you can scale the castle. So all of these things, you have to, this is not the beginning of the campaign. You know what I'm saying? The campaign started 13 years ago when you were 17 and you read that book telling you that you need to have at least 10,000 people in your database. That was when the campaign started. Once you got the idea, you are just 10 years into this, not getting the results. So now you're reflecting on what are you doing different to get those results. So it's just taking you 10 years to get to that stage of retooling and re-innovating. But again, this is a campaign. The campaign is the rest of your life. So don't try to spend the rest of your life in 1 year. That's too much. Like, not only is it too much, it's just not real, right? You know, it's just not practical. It's just not possible. So don't try to do that. It's just not a thing. So the point is, you get to enjoy the campaign because you know at the end you already won. You got the victory because you're leaving yourself clues along the campaign on how to stay on the campaign, like this clue. The index cards are clues. The book you read, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, that's a clue. All of these clues are like you sending yourself a message from the future saying, if you follow this, you'll get to me in the future. And I left you this clue so you could know about it in the past. Because you wouldn't have the idea unless you already had the deal somewhere in the future. It's out there. And you are just a shadow of your future self who is on that same frequency, who is able to tap into, okay, this is it's like being able to see over the horizon. You can see the horizon. You can't see over it. You don't know what's over there. Like, you're not standing on the horizon, but you can see the top. You can see the mountain, and you know that when you get to the top of that mountain, there's a view. And when you're at the top of that mountain, you can look back and say, "Oh, look, I was over there. I can cast a shadow on my previous self," and that's what you're experiencing. The shadow of your future self being cast on you now. The days of your life gone by leave memories, but they also leave hints or clues as to how to find them. So that's part of the campaign. You know, the campaign is that's part of it. So what else? Yeah, this is not all gonna happen in one day or 1 year. In fact, you think it'll take you 30 years. What else? Have fun. Be happy. Make sure to eat. Again, keep your spirit high. Keep your health high. Enjoy the journey. You know, enjoy. Like, be full of joy. Understand how to understand what chapter in the campaign you're in. Whether you need to, you know, there's like that cycle, the growing and the changing, in the Bagua cycle. Tap into that. Whether you need to be growing, whether you need to be plateauing, whether you need to be destroying, whether you need to be reorganizing, whether you need to be like, okay, so like you came through a destruction phase, right? You might say to yourself, what do you mean destruction? You're destroying the process of using your cell phone to keep your database in. You destroyed that. You obsoleted that technology. So you can't use that one. You destroyed that one. That's what you mean by that in the destruction phase. Like you obsoleted using someone else's platform to store your database's information. You destroyed that because it's obsolete. That's what that means. At least that's what you think it means right now. The next part of it though is what's the next part? Um, hmm. Next part is build your team, build your database, put team members on your team who also built their databases and your database. Don't let people get on your team who don't have a database. Because how do you not know anybody? There's no way you don't have any contacts. That's suspicious. Um, don't just put an address for a contact. If you go door knocking, actually you need to include that this is about interfacing, being in their face. You don't need to put addresses. Now, some people you might interface with them and you don't necessarily get their name, right? They might pass you on the street, say something to you, or like that guy, you mentioned something about you hadn't eaten, he gave you $5 to go get some food. Now, you didn't get his phone number or his address, but you still need to create a contact card for him because he interfaced, you looked him in his eyes, you looked him in his face, and that happened at a specific location. So for occurrences like that where you don't necessarily get their name or any sort of follow-up information, what you need to do is still document, like, okay, you met him on such and such street on such and such day, and this is his description, what he was looking like, what kind of clothes he was wearing, and what particular event took place. That's that's still a contact. That's a contact. You need to include that as well because it's not necessarily about him. This is about you. And if things like that happen in places like that, then there's something special about that place. Like obviously something special happened there. It's something you had a memory there. So just like the people in Australia, you have this. You could describe them, and you have a street that you met them on. So you can still create a contact card for them. Yeah, that's the way around that. Cause yeah, that's the way around. That's one way around that. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, don't let nobody slip through the cracks. Cause that's a valuable person. I would love to have his phone number and talk to him and connect with him. But he was on his path. He was moving. He heard me. He said, "Oh, somebody in need." Boom, helped him out. I kept going. He kept going. So like that sort of thing is they're moving too fast to even give me any information. But they did give you an event. They did give you information. You just don't have follow up information. They left it right there on the spot. So yeah, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And keep them in the database. What else? I don't know what else. So that's it for now. That's it for now. But make sure to watch these videos, which you will. And they're good for your spirit. All right. I'll see you in the future.